Hi guys, you get me for your video announcement this week, so I'll try my hardest not to make it as awkward as possible. First thing that we need to do is we need to announce that we changed the Hello Goodbye dessert night from June 2nd to June 9th so that our senior girls could actually come and celebrate as we send off our seniors and welcome our incoming 7th graders. That's the only announcement for this week, and next week we just have small groups as regular. Alright, so we've been talking about conflict resolution, and this week we had 3 points that just kind of help us prepare as we enter the storm of conflict resolution. The very first step was, let me get it here on my handy dandy. Alright, the very first step was we needed the gumption to function, which meant we need to have the gumption to take initiative to go and handle the conflict resolution. I think the hardest part about conflict is that first step of actually going. So that's where we just really need to go in and dig deep and look and just really focus on being able to go and talk to that person. There's an urgency there because we don't want those seeds of bitterness to start to develop, and we don't want a lot of outside factors to start to come in. So the first step is, Jesus says, is to go. And so we want to go. The next step, and we talked about this and I hit it pretty hard, was to go privately. So I want to talk about that a little bit. I want to talk a tiny bit about the difference between talking to someone and processing and talking to someone and gossiping. I think gossip is if that person has nothing to do with the situation and instead they inflame the situation when you're having a conversation. If you're talking to someone about it and you're not able to get any resolution and you're not able to get any good solid advice, instead you're getting more inflamed and ultimately you guys just end up talking bad about the person, that's gossip. But if you're talking to someone and saying, hey, I just need encouragement, motivation, I need to process so that I can move forward, then that's an okay step to do. And I just want to make sure that the line is a slippery, slippery slope. And a lot of times we tend to err on the side of gossip. And so it might be the best thing that if we're really needing a sounding board and how to talk out conflict, that you seek out your small group leader or an adult or someone that you trust. And if you're going to go to your friends, that's totally okay if you pick a friend and you get good resolution out of that. If in that you're not getting good advice and there's never resolution out of those conversations, then it's gossip. And we don't want to add wood to the fire. We don't want to add and throw things into the fire of the quarrel to make it bigger. Remember, we want to make sure that the gossip stops at us. The only way for gossip to stop at us is if we stop talking. So that's the second step, is to go privately to that person. The third step is to do it before you worship God. I think that is a point that we've hit hard through this series because I really believe that Jesus cares more about our relationships than our rituals. And so he really wants us to work on our relationships. And so I want to encourage you that if you're so afraid to work on that relationship and you're so afraid to jump forward into that relationship that you're missing the point of forgiveness and of having a relationship with God. And so I just really want you to focus on that relationship, just as Jesus loved us, that we would love others. And if we go and do it in that way, we ultimately will be able to understand the point and the purpose of conflict resolution. And then finally, the last step was to handle it in love. Tim hit it so well last week, and I want to just hit it every week, that we're clothing ourselves in love. As we're getting ready to go into that conversation, that we enter with a prayerful heart, that we've taken a lot of consideration. You know that as we're going through these steps, that we've really taken ourselves and our anger and our frustration and our bitterness out of it, and that we're going to this conversation, to this conflict, that we're taking the initiative and we're doing it, but we're ultimately doing it so that we can bring glory to God. Because ultimately, guys, the reason why we push this is because Jesus wants reconciliation. Jesus does not want all of his children fighting and bickering and letting storms go wild. Jesus really wants to have reconciliation between the two of you guys. And you guys would be able to have better relationships. You guys would really be able to move forward in a way that is glorifying and honoring to God. So I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you guys are really able to dig deep into discussion. I really want you guys to just think about a conflict that you've had or are going through right now, and what steps are you at? Have you taken the gumption? Have you got it? Have you gone into the conflict, or are you just kind of sitting back? You know, where are you? Are you about to go, but you're scared? Just to really dissolve and dissect that. And if you don't have any conflicts going on, then think about steps that you could be able to prepare your mind for the future, because you will, unfortunately. We're all going to have a little conflict. So I hope you guys have a great night. I think you guys are awesome. You guys have awesome small group leaders. Make sure you give them hugs, noogies, kisses, maybe not kisses, but you just show your small group leaders that you love them. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.